When I left, I took something of Mr. Tesla's from the hotel.
Don't those few people who are at the center of a conspiracy theory know that their vagueness adds fuel to that conspiracy fire? Take, for instance, Max Rosenberg.
Yeah, this week's segment on the video blog begins on location, as Jeff and I accompany Max Rosenberg to the New Yorker hotel where he worked. Now, Max has brought us here to return an item that he stole from the place 60 years ago. As to the identity of the item, yeah, Max only tells us that it once belonged to the reclusive scientist Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla lived and worked in this hotel until his death of old age in 1943. Right before he died, he claimed he had invented a device that could produce virtually unlimited energy, but it was never publicly demonstrated. After Tesla's body was discovered, the suite was searched, but no device was found. Now, this all happened around the very same time that a young Max Rosenberg left his job as the porter on Tesla's floor. Since then, the memory of Tesla and the story of the device has been kept largely alive by conspiracy theorists.
You change the world, and that's what you get. A little plaque.
Never mind that Tesla's claims of what this world-changing device would do were never completely consistent, or that he refused to give a public demonstration of his supposed invention. Why is it such a big secret about this something, and why is it so important to bring it back to the hotel? Meanwhile, I could see that Jeff was becoming more and more convinced that Max had the actual device.
3327.
Tesla's suite.
We didn't actually seem to have a plan to get into 3327. Fortunately, all conspiracy theorists are very cloak and dagger by nature.
Yeah, hi. Could you send some towels up to 3327?
Took the maid only a few minutes to arrive and to allow Jeff to catch the door and sneak on in. If any members of law enforcement actually do monitor this blog, let me assure you that we were only innocently trespassing. We didn't remove anything from the room. But stay with me. Because don't you want to see if the next people to check in might have more than extra towels waiting?
Well, a lot has changed.
Yeah, well, 60 years will do that.
Actually, it barely seems like the same place.
So Tesla worked in this room?
Yes, this was his lab.
On the teleporter?
Well, this was a room he had
Now
meetings
here's how
in.
the conspiracy plot thickens. Tesla, anxious to get himself out of the debt from his battles with Thomas Edison, had supposedly tried to sell his Teleforce device to anyone who would buy it, including potentially hostile governments demanding an exorbitant sum. According to Jeff, even the Nazis had interest in the device, perhaps hoping for the more nefarious uses Tesla claimed could be made of his invention.
Well, I remember some things, but I was just a porter.
That's what I've been telling Jeff all along. Just a porter. But then, with all these world leaders supposedly interested in this device and the conspiracy theories of how it was swept off under the cover of night, how did our sweet, hardly innocent little old porter wind up with this item of Tesla's?
For a long time, Mr. Tesla didn't know my name, and then one day, it surprised me. After I brought him his lunch, he walked right up to me, and he read the stitching on my uniform, and he said, Max, why don't you help yourself to one of those coins on the dresser? That's when I knew I'd earned his trust. Like he trusted me with this. He trusted very few people. Oh, Mr. Tesla didn't have anybody.
It's sad that the man who discovered alternating current, harnessed the power of Niagara Falls, invented radio and remote control, had been relegated to a shadow of his former fame, waiting in his suite for daily visits from the hotel porter.
He was already very old.
So, this just gets left here?
Well, the view was very different back then. People continue to come to this city. They have big plans. And something happens along the way. Their energy gets lost. That's what happened to Mr. Tesla, but I know he had big plans for the future. Yeah, like I said, there's nothing left in these old bones. Now that's where it goes, out there.
It just goes on the balcony?
That's where I retrieved it from.
Look at Jeff. He probably thinks that Max has brought us here to place the item in a direct line to be able to fire in the Empire State Building. Me, personally, I find it kind of sad when you get to a stage in life where you're just looking for attention.
Mr. Tesla made this just before he died. And I was the one that put it out there.
Does it still work?
Yes. It'll go right back to good use as soon as you complete your end of the bargain. Would you like to see what it looks like?
But like I said at the start of the blog, those at the center of a conspiracy theory create more of a mystery by simply being more mysterious. So on that note, the world has waited 60 years to find out about this Teleforce. I'll only be leaving you in the dark until next time.